marriage. Let me tell you, I have two. And the first is personal experience. Let me pause and ask, why is this an important question? Why do we hear, the one message we hear repeated over and over is the argument from despair. There is no hope. You're going to lose. There's a reason for that, ladies and gentlemen. A culture war is like any other war in this one way. What's the definition of victory? Not when one side is annihilated, but when it gives up its wish to fight. That's when a war is over. And that's why this war can never be over. Because the goods that are not at stake are so important. First, marriage itself. Marriage is the union of male and female, the way we bring together the two great halves of humanity so that we can have a future, so that children can know and be known by and love and be loved by their mother and father wherever possible. This, as an ideal, we cannot afford to surrender. I think it's true. Secondly, increasingly, it is becoming clear that the gay marriage movement is not a movement of live and let live. The ultimate goal is not to just let Adam and Steve do what they want in the privacy of their own home. The goal, and this is what gay marriage equality means, it means a society in which government and all the public institutions influenced by government are committed to the idea there is no difference between a same-sex and an opposite-sex union. And if you see a difference, there's something wrong with you. You are somehow, amazingly, like a bigot opposed to interracial marriage. That idea is not an idea, once it's adopted by our government, is going to have and is having enormous consequences. That is the idea that we see unfolding in the public square and that is the deepest animating motivations of gay marriage advocates. And that idea we must resist because it is not true. My experience in this, 4 years ago, I've been a writer, many of you may have seen, I've been writing about marriage, divorce, unmarried, childbearing, the importance of bringing mothers and fathers for 25 years now. But I've helped co-found the National Organization for Marriage just 4 years ago because I knew I knew the fight was going to move into state legislatures. We needed a national single-issue organization. So I want to pause and say I know all of the organizations involved in this fight, and I treasure fighting with each and every one of the people on this panel, the Oregon Family Research Council and others. But I just want to reflect here for a second my own personal experience, which is with the National Organization for Marriage. So in 2007, we knew that the Supreme Court in California was likely to invent a constitutional right to gay marriage in the state constitution. And I went out to California, a fledgling organization. We existed 3 months. We had a couple $100,000 in the bank. And I tried to see, can we help get a marriage amendment on the ballot, which the local California Family Policy Council was already doing. And I was told, no, there's no way to do it, okay? You can't, it takes $2 million, you have 6 weeks to raise it, you can't possibly raise that money, you're gonna raise part of the money and leave the donors hanging, depressing them for other good projects. And if by some miracle you succeeded in getting out on the ballot, you were going to lose because the culture had shifted. 2 things I want to say about this. First of all, it was the people who agreed with me who were telling me that on gay marriage, right? The second thing is none of them turned out to be true, right? We have won amazing victory on the marriage issue, not only in California, but then we took back territory and reversed gay marriage in Maine as well. Talk about the They told us it was impossible to block gay marriage in New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Maryland. Their example, none of those things turned out to be true. They tried to lie to us and tell us that people in the heartland in Iowa are okay with gay marriage, and in the election in 2010, the people of Iowa demonstrated for the first time in their history, they said no to 3 judges who voted, invented, banned the right to gay marriage in the Iowa state constitution and tried to promote constitutional marriage. That fight continues. In New Hampshire, we'll talk again about the deep north. Most of you don't know because even the conservative media does not cover our victories as they should. But in New Hampshire, there will be a vote to reverse gay marriage in New Hampshire, and I believe that the legislatures will do that in New Hampshire. marriage should be in their state. And I believe we'll win both of those fights. Brian Brown, whose shoes I'm attempting to stand in today, the president of the National Organization for Marriage, likes to say, before they declare their ultimate victory, their inevitable victory, shouldn't they win their first victory in the ballot box? But that's not the most important reason. I know that this cause is not only just, but in the end will prevail. The more deeper ground as we face the relentless wave that charges that no matter how civilly and decently, and I believe in decency and civility, because they're right, particularly for any of us who want to stand and speak as a believer in God, whether or not it buys us anything, or whether or not it stops the wave of insults, we have to just keep doing the right thing, day in and day out, with respect for the citizens who disagree with us, and a hope to win their hearts and minds down the road. We can never become the caricature they tried to turn us into in the movies. But in the end, I believe, with Havel, the former president of the Czech Republic, that truth and love together will prevail. A culture war is fundamentally a war about the nature of reality. It's a contest over whose version of the truth is going to be accepted as dominant, real, true in the public square, and secondly, whether your truth, if not dominant, is going to even be tolerated in the public square. And we see this played out in the major issues. Let me pause and ask you guys, how many of you know what the Manhattan Declaration is? How many of you signed it? Excellent. Anyone who hasn't should go to ManhattanDeclaration.org and do that. Life, marriage, and religious liberty. These are interconnected issues because they go to the nature of what's true and what's real, and the foundational truths in particular of the American Republic. Is that thing in the mother's womb just a clump of cells? Or is it a human being who has a call on all of our consciences, right? That's the culture war over abortion. Is a union of two men committing to remain in a sexual union for the rest of their life, is that a marriage? No. That's the core question in the gay marriage debate. And will we remain a nation in which we respect each other's consciences, even when we disagree, precisely because we believe that our rights come from a God who wants friends who choose him freely and not slaves who are forced into his service. That's the unfolding forward of religious liberty. And there are many in this public square now who want to take the enormous progress in the life issue and somehow use that as a cause for despair about the marriage issue. But I am not one of those people. I remember being 18 and being told, by the time I was my age, I'm 51, there wouldn't be any more pro-lifers in the public square because all the young people believed one way. I mean, the myth that history unfolds in a unilateral direction to please this progressive